All right, here with reaction to my Oval Office interview with the president is Fox News contributor, former Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich. Wow. Have you been watching what this guy's been doing in 4 days? I want to get your reaction, all of it.
Well, let me start and say, I thought it was a sign of your 30-year friendship with the president that he gave the most relaxed, most conversational interview I've ever seen him give. And I thought it was really encouraging because, you know, if you're going to be as bold and as aggressive as he's being, it's kind of nice to be reassured that he is able to have the kind of real conversation he had with you. And I think he was able to listen. There were times when you and he didn't agree, but it was all done in a tone that I thought was about as good as it's ever going to get. I would say, I've already written a newsletter at Gingrich 360 saying that he gave the most revolutionary inaugural address in American history. And I went back and I looked at Jefferson, Jackson, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. There's no question, but the address that Callista and I heard when we were there on Monday was literally the most revolutionary. And what's amazing is, in his first 4 days, he has been implementing it. He didn't just talk about it. My guess is, if he keeps this pace up, by the end of 10 days, he will have accomplished more change than Franklin Delano Roosevelt in that famous 100-day period. I've never seen anything like it. It's clear that the America First project actually created an opportunity for the development of executive orders, for thinking things through. But you're seeing a truly historic moment of just very dramatic and very decisive change.
You know, I think the reason is there is nobody else like him. I've known a lot of politicians over the years. You had your own very unique style. I had a front row seat when you were the speaker. I agree with you. On one level, he was as relaxed as I've ever seen him, but he was also dialed in, laser focused, and he wants to get it done, and he can't get it done soon enough. I mean, bring me the next paper, make the next phone call. And it's been like that since Election Day. You know, I talked to people that are at Mar-a-Lago, and he's been working around the clock the whole time.
You know, I mean, I think clearly he's going to be as consequential as Franklin Delano Roosevelt was. And if they can actually keep the House in 2026 and continue the momentum, at which point I think they'll win in 28, he will really be in the same league as President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who, remember, created a governing majority that lasted 90 years. I mean, these are big moments. You don't get them more than once a lifetime. And I think clearly President Trump now is moving to be one of the most consequential presidents in American history. I think, frankly, just below Washington and Lincoln, but certainly they'll end up in the same league with Jefferson, Jackson, and Roosevelt. And that's pretty, to actually be living through it, to be here, to see this, to watch the range of what he's doing, from very detailed things to huge sweeping things. It's remarkable, I think.
I don't really see any obstacle. I've made the observation, and I do believe that legacy media died on November 5th, and they don't have the power, the impact, the influence that maybe they did when you were Speaker. And I would argue that Democrats, they don't know how to handle him. They've thrown everything they could possibly think of at him, and it wasn't successful. So now, like, people in the media are back to, you know, calling him or Elon Musk a Nazi. That's what they seem to have been reduced to. I think all his nominees get through, and I think his agenda gets through.
Look, I mean, I guess my only caution, Sean, would be, this is phase one. This is not the realignment. This was the ticket to get into the dance. Now we've got to dance well enough that we keep the House in 26, and we've got to deal with a world that's dangerous. There was a reason that John F. Kennedy had a little boat, or rather a little plaque on his desk that said, "Oh, Lord, your ocean is so big and my boat is so small." We're now in a world of North Korea, Iran, Russia, Ukraine, Gaza, Israel, excuse me. And in that kind of a world, you have to remember every morning with a certain humility that even somebody as big as President Trump, and as I've said, I think he's going to be in a very unique small league, even as big as he is, having a little bit of luck, a little bit of humility, recognizing how much bigger the problems are than we are, and then just every day doing your job as best you can, I think he has a real chance, not a certainty, but a real chance to profoundly shape history, not just for the U.S., but by definition, if you change history here, you're going to change history across the planet. You see it in Argentina. You see it in Italy. There are people who are becoming Trump-like, following Trump-like policies, and I think that will spread.
What scares me is, in a moment, I think the trajectory of his presidency could change. We have known terrorists, cartel members, Iranian assassination squads, gangs in the country, but we don't know where they are. But we do know they're after him. We could be at war at any moment, and, after a terror attack on our homeland. How much do you worry about that?
Well, I think it's a factor. I frankly also worry about stumbling into a nuclear war with Russia, or stumbling into a big fight over Taiwan with China, or who knows what Kim Jong-un is motivated by. And as you pointed out in your interview, which, by the way, I thought was a remarkable historic document. I mean, the ground you two covered together was amazing in these 2 nights. So I think we always have to worry and remember that we need God's advice and counsel and God's support, because the world is much bigger than we are, no matter how big we think we are.
Well said. We appreciate you, Speaker Gingrich. Thank you. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.